Hello, Facebook fans and YouTube fans of DX Engineering. It is Tuesday afternoon here in the Eastern time zone of the USA. It is 18:15 Zulu on February 6th, 2024, and this is Tuesdays with DX Engineering. Today we have Mark, W4ZIP from the DX Engineering Sales and Technical Support Team. Hello, Mark.
Hello, Tim. A fine good afternoon. The sun
Yeah.
is shining. It's springtime.
It is just like springtime in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania, and boy, it's going to be good. Here the next week or so, it's going to be pretty warm. And when it's warm, Mark, I'll bet customers are asking about antennas.
Well, this is a great time to think about antennas because the snow's gone. It's all those projects you've been putting off for the past 3 months. It's time to get out the ladder, get out the tools, and get those antenna projects finished.
Right, but Mark, I know when you're talking to customers, it's all about doing it safely, right?
Absolutely, especially when you're working on towers or roofs. You've got to be so careful. Watch out for those power lines. Have some safety equipment. Tie yourself off, and because the last thing you want to do is have an accident. And
Right.
Terrible.
Yeah, and make sure you've got the old buddy principle. How about that, Mark? Another ham,
Sure.
maybe your significant other, to make
Don't
sure
go out,
that nothing
don't
bad
go out by
happens.
yourself. Yes.
Right, right. Here today we have the tower company. They're doing some maintenance work here at K3LR. So that maintenance work has to go on, and the show goes on too. So if you hear voices in the background and rotators rotating, that's we're doing here today. Mark, tell me something interesting that a customer asked you about here lately.
Wow. One thing that's so much fun about working at DX Engineering is every day is an adventure. I had a call today, for example, from somebody from an old ham he's entering hospice, and he was very concerned. He wanted to get some equipment installed so that he can enjoy the time that he has with his favorite hobby, ham radio.
Right.
That was very touching. And I was glad to offer him some advice and some help. But it's just you just never know what you're going to get on the phone sometimes.
Well, yeah, in a situation like that, it might be a remote setup, or it could be just a stealth antenna, or having the ham radio club put up an antenna in the room or even in the attic at the facility. So lots of things there, Mark.
But Tim, I am so excited. There's been so much going on in the ham radio world. I got myself a new radio, for example, a 7610.
An ICOM 7610. Now, how long have you had it now, Mark?
About 3 months.
3 months. What do you think?
I love it. It's a fabulous radio. I've really enjoyed it. I've got some other ICOM radios, a 7000, a 7300. I've got a 7000 in the car. I've got a 7000 upstairs, but downstairs in my shack, I've got a 7610. And it is a fabulous, fabulous radio.
Yeah, there's a reason that it sells so well and it's so popular. I mean, obviously, Mark, the 7300 being a lot less expensive, but
Yes.
The 7610 has so many features.
It does. And speaking of excitement, I mean, what's happening this weekend? Orlando.
Yes.
You may not have heard, but I'm going to get on a plane on Thursday. I'm going to go to Orlando.
Nice.
I was there last year, and I've got some friends who will be down there, and I'm going to go join them, and we're going to spend 2 days in the sun.
Well, good for you. That is a great getaway to go down to Hamcation, and the guys that put that together are really, really good. They operate a lot like the guys at Hamvention in Xenia, and of course, it's as you know, it's at a fairgrounds down near Orlando as well, and so it's but it's just beautiful because it's going to be 70 degrees or
I know.
75
I'm
degrees.
excited. It'll be fun to get away just for a couple of days and enjoy my favorite hobby and some sunshine. What could be better?
What's really cool, Mark, the thing that I noticed when I was down there is that the flea market is full of different junk that
Yeah.
I've never seen before.
Wait a minute, Tim. There's no junk at a flea market. Now, what flea market did you go to?
Well, it's different, lightly used equipment. Let's say that. And, that it's, and there's lots of faces from Northeast Ohio down there as well.
That's true. There's nothing like going up and down the aisles at a hamvention or hamcation flea market, looking at the piles of boxes and the old equipment and some new equipment too. And it is just fascinating what makes this hobby so interesting.
Yeah. And remind me how many years you've had a license, Mark?
I think about 55 years, Tim. It
55 years.
It was 1967. I became a novice, WN8ZIP, then my tech, then my general. I recall going up to Cleveland to take my code test for my general.
Right.
And but as I got closer to retirement, I wanted to get my extra class license, which I did about 10 years ago, and I wanted to get a shorter call sign. But I liked my ZIP so well, I couldn't find W8ZIP, but W4ZIP was available, so I grabbed it. So a little shorter call, but I kept my ZIP.
Well, and when you're down in the four,
Well, what happened to our connection? Well, I guess we're still on, but I think maybe we lost him. I'm not sure what happened, but we were talking about Orlando, the flea markets, and how interesting it is to visit the flea markets. And I'm looking forward to Dayton, which is coming up in the very near future. I think I've attended the Dayton Hamvention. I think this might be my 6th time attending Dayton. Looking forward to it. And now, Tim, you're back.
we're back. The magic of all this technology. We got some of the smartest guys here in the shack today working on the antennas. It's always a connector, Mark. I've got
connector. You've had a connector fail once in a while.
Yeah, every once in a while a connector just doesn't operate right. And so many times guys will say, well, geez, who loosened up that coax connector? I didn't loosen it up, but a loose coax connector can drive you nuts, Mark.
It wasn't me. And what about Clipperton?
Yes,
that just finished up just last week, and
yeah.
I got to make a couple of contacts myself. Great fun.
Super. And those guys are just getting back to California now from Clipperton. They've been on a boat, and Southern California is not in great shape right now, Mark, with all the rain.
They're going through a tough time right now, Tim, and our thoughts and our prayers are with all those folks out there that are dealing with some really difficult circumstances. Which reminds us all, that's one of the reasons why we get involved in this hobby is to help with emergency preparedness.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Back there, for example, we had a siren test last weekend, and the local EMA asked our local ham club to provide volunteers to visit all 50 of the local siren sites in the county, so we could confirm if the sirens were working properly. And we found some that weren't. And that's just one of the many things that we do. Besides having a lot of fun on the air, public service is so important as well.
it is. And the Mahoning Valley Amateur Radio Association, which you're a member of,
Yes.
and very active in, and that club has been around since what year?
I think it's more than 100 years. I think we might have celebrated our, I don't know, 120th anniversary, or
Yeah, that's incredible. It just W8QLY. You can look up W8 Queen Love Yankee on QRZ.com, and that's where you're going to find a lot of great information. And thanks for all you do for that club, Mark.
Well, it's it's important, of course, but it's also fun. You meet so many friends through the hobby, and it's just Tim, it's just a lot of fun.
Well, that's really good. Let's check before we close. Let's check and see who's in the chat room here real quick. We've got Pat, Kilo 7 Lima, November Papa is in there, and our friend Dan, WA4 Mike Oscar Mike from Kentucky, and Dawn, Whiskey Juliet 3 United, and W5 Juliet Charlie Sierra Jim down in Oklahoma. Kate Delta Victor, another member of the DX Engineering team. And look, Mark, he's headed out on Thursday for Hamcation too. So a lot of DX Engineering guys down at Hamcation. We got, let's see, Skip Longpath is on. How do you compare Orlando to Xenia? What do you think, Mark?
Well, number 1 and number 2.
And they're both good. They're both really good.
Well, it might be warmer in Orlando this time of year, but it'll be nice in Dayton too, come April.
So yeah, but it's a great time and a good time to get away. And let's see, Mike, Mike's Engineering guys, Kilo India 8 Radio says hello from sunny Lancaster, Ohio. It is a sunny day out there today, Mark.
Yeah, Mike sent me a text message just a while ago, and I want to thank Mike for the advice. Thank you, Mike.
There's something going on with the motor.
Yeah, it's really great the way everybody helps everybody. Kilo 8 Delta Alpha Yankee is on, and Monty Hardman is on. Monty's part of the DX Engineering team, and great to have you on, Monty. And Don is on. Was hoping to attend Hamvention, but he's got a dental checkup he's got to do. And we've got Kilo Golf 6 Oscar November Charlie. He's ready for summer as well. Well, listen, Mark, thanks very much for coming on today. This has been fun. Have a great trip to Hamcation. Make sure you see all the DX guys and the Northeast Ohio guys down there. Have some fun, and we'll look forward to hearing stories when you get back.
I'll show off my tan when I come back.
Sounds great. Thanks for all you do to help our customers at DX Engineering. I hope all of you have enjoyed the show today, and we look forward to the next one. Until then, 73 from DX Engineering.